Hi, I'm Dan from Real Mac Software, and this week we're going to take a look at responsive design in Rapid Weaver Elements. Now, we looked at this last week, but we only just scratched the surface of it. There's so much more we've done here, and there's things that I didn't cover last week that were already implemented and things we've implemented just this week based on your feedback. So I've put together a little site, as always, and I want to show you how that works with responsive design. So let's dive in and take a look. So here's the site, and it's pretty standard. I've got a big heading, I've got a nice grid there with some text and images, and a few sections down here, a little bit of animation. So it's a pretty nice single page site there. But when I start to go down through the sizes, some problems start to appear. It's not too bad here. The heading's still very big for a tablet, but you could kind of get away with it if you wanted. But here things start to break, and the problems obviously get worse as we go down through the sizes. This is looking really big now. And on mobile, this is a mobile size. This is looking absolutely ridiculous. And that is cut off. It's not great. Now you'll notice the grid here does change, and that is because I've already set that up. So it goes to a single column here, and it stretches out as we go larger. But we're going to need to fix the fonts first of all. So if we go back down to mobile, because we use Tailwind as the framework, and that is a mobile first framework. So we want to start with the mobile sizes, and then we can fix it as we go up. So here the font is way too big, so let's make it a lot smaller. So something like 4XL, that's quite nice. This would probably look a lot more suitable on mobile. So now that has changed it, but it's changed it everywhere. And perhaps we want it to be bigger as the sizes go up. So if I go to landscape, we could leave it like this, but for the sake of the demo, I'm going to change it. So on style, we click the title here, as you saw last week, to make it responsive. And I'm going to increase the font size there. And then I'm going to go up to tablet, and I'm going to press it again. And then I'm going to increase the font size there. Maybe we go up to 7. And on desktop, I want it to be really big, so we're going to go up to 9. So now you can watch this control here, and you can see here as it changes through the different breakpoints, you can see our font just changes to what we selected. So yeah, keep an eye on this, and you'll notice as I go up and down through the breakpoints, it just adapts. So that's really nice. And last week, we only touched on grid items being responsive, but actually a lot more things can be responsive. We just didn't cover it last week. So let me duplicate that. So on here, we could set the visibility, that's responsive, custom CSS, I've got the H tag. So all of these controls can be responsive. Now we haven't done the color class or the color controls yet. I don't know if you really need those to be responsive at breakpoints. I've not really seen that you would change a color at different breakpoints. So for now, we haven't done that one. We haven't got around to doing margin and padding yet, but they are high up on the list. So hopefully when I return with the videos in January, we will show off some more of these things that we've done by then. So you can see we are working our way through and making sure all of these settings are responsive. Now this would be the same for all elements. Let me just delete that, as we don't need that. So that's set up, so that's looking good, and I can obviously do the same here. The web design isn't looking so good, so what we could do is I could come down here, we select the text, and I'll make it smaller because we're on mobile there. But then as the site gets bigger, we'll probably do it on the iPad, on the tablet. Here, let's pick the style, and then I'll make that a bit bigger. And again, on desktop, I can override that and make it bigger. And of course, we could easily do multiple things here as well. So if on tablet we wanted to swap the family of it to body, we could do that. So now you can see it's the family is a serif family and it's at 2XL, and then come up here and then it's set to the body font that I've set in the theme studio. So you can change multiple things here and it just kind of works. So let's get rid of that. One of the other things people were asking about is, can you hide and show elements? And you may have noticed this visibility option here. Now, for things like this, I don't want to show this on all the breakpoints. So I come down to mobile, for example. I mean, I could do this anywhere, but we don't want to show. You see, I've got this section here. I've got a heading, and but the whole section, we want to hide this whole section. So I'm just going to hide it, and I've still got it selected in here. So I'm going to come up to probably the tablet size, and then I can make this respond to the breakpoints, and we'll set the visibility to true. So now this will be seen on everything above here, so on desktop, but everything below, and if you see just as I go below, then it disappears. There we are. And it's as easy as that. So now I can easily hide and show things at different breakpoints. And you'll notice as I go up and down the breakpoints, the controls change there to show me what's being overridden and yeah, the changes on the fly. So that's pretty cool. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was a couple of people commented, well, how do I know which settings are responsive? And we had the same thought, we just hadn't implemented it yet, and we'd kind of got used to just clicking on the name tags and thought maybe that'll be fine. We'll tell people how to do it and they'll learn how to do it. But based on your feedback, we think actually we probably do need a way to show which controls are responsive. So let me just open up Sketch. So this is just a quick mock-up, and we just haven't had time to implement this, but this is the plan, and let me know what you think of this. So right now, when you click, you don't see the highlight, and things have this dark border when they're active. But what we're thinking of changing things to is we're going to have this pale background to the label, so you know that any label with a pale background like this can be clicked on and it is responsive. So when you click on these, it'll go to the highlight color. So here I've got it as orange, but this would be because orange is my system color. And that will highlight to say you've made that active. So that way you can see at a glance which settings are responsive, which ones will work being responsive, and then you can easily see which ones are active, which ones you've activated. So that's the plan for that. But so I want to show you that quick mock-up because that's what we're going to do. If you have any feedback on that, we obviously haven't implemented that yet. Shouldn't take too long, but if you can have any suggestions on a better way to do that, or if you think that's good or not, we'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. What else is new? So as well as these here, we've also got this breadcrumb section down the bottom here. And this shows you, it's essentially mirroring this hierarchy here. So it's showing you at the top level, you've got a section, and then it goes into grid item, all the way down to the button there that I've got. So you can see this changes, and it will show me how things are nested. And that's really handy to if I'm over here on another area, I can still see that. And if I'm on this button and you know, I've clicked on this and I've got the selection, but I really want to select the grid item that's around it. I can see down here and I can click on that, and then it jumps to that selection. Now, I think we are also going to implement this on a right click as well. So you can right click and see that hierarchy, because when you're working WYSIWYG and you don't have all those bounding boxes around everything, it's sometimes hard to select the outer elements. Because as you see here, when I click on the selection, it's picking the selection, which is what I want, because that's where I can, you know, change the background color and all that. But if I want to pick the grid, which is something people picked up on in last week's video, saying, oh, why are you always clicking in the layout tree? Can't you click on the page? Well, of course you can click on the page, and I can drag things around like that. But it's very hard to pick a grid item that is wrapped around here, when often I don't need to pick the grid item. You know, I want to pick the containing elements. So that's why often I was clicking over here, because I can see exactly what I'm picking and it's really quick just to jump to what I want. But this is another nice way to see where you are in the layout and be able to jump to it. And I think these little tools are really important to help you navigate around when you're designing your website, because you need that control. It's like working in Photoshop. You know, you need to see those layers because you can't always click on the element in the design tool that you want. I have the same thing when I'm designing in Sketch. I can't always click on the object I want because it's all WYSIWYG. So by providing these extra tools, it makes it super easy to pick what you want. And don't forget, we also have search. So, you know, there's a button here, and I know the button's there, but we can assume, or we can pretend that I didn't, but I can just start typing here and it highlights all the buttons for me. And or maybe, you know, I want to pick a flex item, or we want to find all the grid items. Then I can quickly do that and narrow that down. And it's these kind of things we're building in, because the more we use this, the more we understand we're going to need these features. Because this is a new WYSIWYG editor, what we're building, we kind of didn't know everything we need. It's such a big project, we couldn't scope it all out to begin with. But as we've been using it, we're building and iterating, and with your feedback as well, we're adding these things, and it's just, you know, it's just getting so super powerful, and we're really excited about it. We really think this is something special that there's no other app on the Mac or on the web like it, because it's native and it just feels so good to use. We really want to push on and make sure this is polished and the best it can be. So adding these types of things will, when you get to use the beta, it will really make a difference. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the kind of demo of the responsive stuff, and you can see where we're going with it. And I hope it kind of explained a little bit more about the features we're adding and how that's going to work. You know, now this is getting further along. It's just so great to design like this, and having being able to change this font size, you know, just stuff like that is so easy to go down through the breakpoints. And let's see that again, where we can see the font size changing there at the side, at the edge here. You can see the size is just jumping up and down, and that is, it's so easy to work with. It's really, really good. It's the more things we add and the more complete this is getting, the more enjoyable it is to use. And I'm sorry that is a bit of a tease, and I know people really want to use this, but there are still bugs and unfinished things that we need to polish off and implement before you guys can use it. So yeah, so that's it for today, and that's it for this year. In fact, we're not going to be doing another video this year. We're going to be working, but we're going to draw a line under the videos because it's rapidly approaching Christmas. But we will return with videos in the new year in January, and we'll be back to a regular schedule and hopefully even more videos. We've got some great things planned, and of course the beta will be even closer by the new year. So do have a great holiday, and get plenty of rest, and hopefully we'll be doing plenty of web building in the new year. All right, thanks for all your support. It's really appreciated, and I will see you next year. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye.